Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. And the sharper and more keen-eyed of you may have noticed something, and if so, well done. Where was I going to be? Oh yes, we've got a story here that I was going to do yesterday, then just basically ran out of time. It's not really what I want to be starting the day with. I normally like to start quite on a fluffy little one, but this is a continuation of a story I did the other day. It's all about the badges and what they're seen as lobby group badges, that you're not supposed to wear anything that is politically sort of aware. Certainly nothing from a lobby group in Holyrood. And the woman was asked to remove this badge. This is the same woman who a year earlier was asked to remove a scarf because it was in the suffragette colours. It just goes to show how much Holyrood absolutely hate women. They don't want women to have any kind of voice. They don't want any opinion from women who think that women should have, for example, rights and freedoms and safe spaces. Oh no, that goes against the narrative. And as we see, it's going to be utter hypocrisy when you see what's going on within Holyrood. So we'll take a look at this and just wonder what they are doing and why they hate women so very much. Here goes. So, Holyrood badge hypocrisy laid bare, say feminist group, as MSPs wear Stonewall lobbyist laces. Now, the claim was that this woman couldn't wear this particular badge, and the badge was, it was the female symbol, so like a circle with the cross underneath, and within it, it had two white crosses, representing the two X's for the double X genes, but they were white on a blue background, so you could argue it was just being Scottish lady. But it obviously wasn't. It was women's rights. But she was refused entry until she removed it, because apparently you're not allowed to wear the symbols of lobby groups. The irony is, For Women Scotland, there's their badge, aren't a lobby group. And yet Stonewall is. And yet apparently they will allow this, Stonewall laces. Why? Well, it gets worse than that. She, the woman in the picture, is she's an MSP for the SNP. But those shoes belong to a conservative man, although, you know, we suspect. But why is he pushing this agenda of hate? Because Stonewall, believe you me, is a hate group. Actually, even now, hates lesbians, gays and bis. And they go, oh, well, look, there's 100 genders. What does the bi stand for then? What does the B in LGBT stand for? But they hate lesbians and gays because, obviously, straight men like real women. Straight women like real men. Gay men like real men. Lesbian women like real women. Nobody likes trans. And the trans lobby are really moaning about this. They can't have love. Well, no, because you're mentally ill. Go and see a psychiatrist. Anyway, two Holyrood MSPs have come under fire for sporting a lobby group's rainbow laces at Parliament, while others asked to remove badges. As I say, Stonewall is a lobby group. For Women Scotland isn't. So the utter hypocrisy there. An SNP MSP has been called out for wearing shoelaces from a discredited lobby group at Holyrood. On the same day, a visitor to Parliament was forced to hand over her badge because it belonged to a lobby group, even though it didn't. I will also say Stonewall forced out its original founders, who were all lesbian and gay, because the job was done. The lesbian and gay people and whatever had their rights, they had full rights in law, everything. There was no difference in rights. So Stonewall stopped to exist, had no more reason to exist. They went, yes, but we like the money, we like the power, we like the influence. And so they've become exclusively trans rights, and they want to push the group that wants to predate women and children. They're a hate group. The Scottish Parliament was accused of discriminatory harassment and has now alleged a double standard, which has been called out after Kelcab Stewart, MSP, posted a video of her doing the hopscotch and boasting rainbow laces in aid of sports awareness campaign fronted by LGBT group Stonewall. It's not, it's just T group Stonewall. Now, they want equality in sport. Well, I'll say now, you know, if you are trans, yeah, absolutely, you're welcome to play sport. And I'm sure all the other men in the team would welcome you. Just don't play against women. Not only is it grossly unfair, but you have the potential of harming them with your physicality. Unless, of course, and which I suspect to be true, you actually want to. It gives you the excuse to get onto a field of sport and actually physically harm women, because that's who you are. The badge that was confiscated belonged to For Women Scotland, a women's rights group that does not have lobby status. Boom, I said this. Viewing the video, they asked, why are Stonewall, a registered lobby group, allowed to distribute their symbols in Parliament to be worn by the convener of the Equality Committee, of all things? But feminist symbols are confiscated on these grounds. Now, it's funny, the head of the Equality Committee doesn't want equality for women. Hundreds of years of fighting to get women's rights, to have a whole set of rights for women, to protect them, and it wants to be overwritten by these people because they want men to have control of women's rights. What utter shit is this? What a world we live in. Now, nobody who is trans has any fewer rights than anyone else. What you actually want as a trans is more rights. You want the rights to expose yourself to children. You want the rights to harm women. You want the rights to enter women's safe spaces because you are predators, you are perverts, you are degenerate, and you want to do these things. You want to physically harm women. You want to remove safe spaces. You want to go into our crisis centres. You want to go into DV units. Real men don't. Why? Because real men aren't psychologically impaired. Like, real men don't have mental illnesses. Real men aren't predators. And I'm not saying that lightly. The government's own figures, not my opinion, facts. If you are trans and are in prison, you are 10 times more likely to be in there for a sex crime than a non-trans person. 10 times more likely to be sex offenders. Well, colour me surprised. Anyone who needs to dress up in order to get a hard-on, tell me, yeah, I can see why you're doing it. Because you're all auto-gynophiles, aren't you? And the other thing is, you always call yourself transitioning, which is your coded term for, I'm never going to cut my cock off, isn't it? And it's amazing also, sorry about this, going to go on. It's amazing also how many of you trans, the men who like to dress up as lady, put lipstick on and touch yourself. It's funny how you all describe yourselves as lesbians. No, you're a straight man with a dress fetish. That's all. Not a lesbian. Certainly lesbians don't want anything to do with you. Last thing a lesbian wants to do is find an unexpected items in the bagging area. Anyway, Miss Stewart, a Glasgow Kelvin MSP, shared the video on her social media where she thanked Jamie Green, a Tory MSP. He was the one wearing the shoelaces. Her comment sparked outrage from Scottish poet Maggie Gibson, who said, "You are my MSP. How about you start behaving like the responsible, mature adult you're meant to be, representing all your constituencies without fear, or your constituents, my apologies, without fear or favour or undue influence from discredited lobby groups." Mr. Green told followers on X, "Rocking my rainbow laces today." He added sports participation should be a welcome, inclusive place for all. I've touched on this. There's no one stopping these men with mental illness playing sport, but they've just got to play on the men's side because, after all, they're men. For Women Scotland said of Miss Stewart, "Oh surprise, here is the convener of the Equalities Committee jumping up and down today in her rainbow laces, a campaign and hate symbol from Stonewall, who is a hate lobby group." Stonewall, once a beacon of the gay rights movement, has become under fire for its diversity scheme that promotes the controversial trans rights. Organisations like the BBC and Ofcom came under fire for paying to be accredited, but eventually left over biased concerns. However, the Scottish Government has stuck by it, despite criticism of the cost. They pay hundreds of thousands a year, so they can have a little plaque on the wall saying, "We've conned the Scottish Government out of £100,000, because he said if they didn't give us the money, we'd call them names. We call them phobes and ists. Who cares?" Sad wankers, the lot. The badge incident shocked some, with SNP MP Joanna Cherry claiming it looks very like discriminatory harassment. And she's right. She said, "It's very serious. I want to know why a woman visiting her parliament is being repeatedly targeted for her clothing and badges in a way it seems others are not. And it is the second time For Women Scotland have highlighted what they see as double standards." They called out Scottish Greens MSP and vertical piece of human shit Maggie Chapman, who wore a tie-branded lanyard on Tuesday. Time for Inclusive Education is a charity which lobbies against the prejudice of LGBT school pupils and pushes, of course, for the sexualisation of children so they can all be abused by the people that Maggie Chapman loves so dearly. She is a piece of shit. You may not have noticed there is a theme across several of my videos. I really loathe Maggie Chapman, but she makes it so easy to loathe her. Anyway, I'm going to stop there. I'm going to come up and round off. Like I say, a bit of a hard subject to start the day, but it's one I really wanted to do yesterday before I ran out of time. But now we've got it done. And I'm moving on because we do have another video to come. But we'll come up and round this one off and see how it goes. Yep, sheer double standards, sheer hypocrisy. They seem to want to remove rights and freedoms and protections for women, to even eradicate the existence of women. You know, to make women not mean women anymore, but to mean women and men who want to be women. Simply to make sure that men have control again over everything that is female. It's the ultimate misogyny, isn't it? So we need to start calling these people out what they are. They call us ists and phobes. We just call them misogynists. Women-hating misogynists. Hate groups. That's all they are. Nobody's stopping a trans man doing anything, except going in where young girls will be undressing, except physically harming women on a field of sport, and except forcing other people to join in their delusion and forcing other people to lie, to act as though they are women when they clearly aren't. And I will never do that. And if I have to go to jail for it, I'll happily do time in jail for it. I just don't care. I will not bow to their sheer set of lies just because they have hurty fee-fees. We know that most of them are predators. We only have to look at the likes of Andrew Miller. And if you treat all of them like that, you're not going to go far off. I will stop now. Thank you very much for watching. Like I say, a bit serious to get the day started. But we do have a Humza Yousaf one regarding the gender bill. So do keep an eye out for that. That's coming next. And we will crack on. Tons to do. And it's a Saturday. And I don't normally like doing tons on a Saturday. Try to do sort of four at most. But early start. See how many we get through. Thanks for listening. Bye.